Alright, welcome back to a new video, and today we're going to be talking about Misfits X The Zone Series '07, where KSI will be attempting to fight his first professional boxer, because Pineda does not count, let's be real. May 13th. Very nice. But that is not the only fight we're going to be talking about, as there's obviously an undercard, so we're going to be talking about that. I think it's in order. It's going to be Salt Poppy versus Anthony Taylor, Deji versus Swarms, and of course the main event, KSI versus Fournier. Because I hardly doubt KSI is putting his brother anything below co-main event, especially now. But, of course, the first fight we're going to be talking about is Salt Poppy versus Anthony Taylor, which is a weird fight because this was not supposed to happen because Salt Poppy was set to fight someone else. That I don't know who it was, but they pulled out because of an injury or something like that. And they put in Anthony Taylor, and of course the whole little, not controversy or anything, but Keemstar obviously being head of Happy Punch Promotion and managing these two fighters, he obviously doesn't want to put his fighters up against each other, so that's a thing. And how everyone's like, oh, so probably only agreed to 3 rounds, and then Keemstar's like, yeah, because they didn't want to raise the price on them, they didn't want to pay them more money for more rounds, so it's like, okay, I guess that makes sense a little bit. But how do I think this fight's gonna go? It's gonna go decision. Let's be real, it's gonna go decision. Most likely, anyways. Is there a chance for a knockout? Yes. But I got Salt Poppy winning unanimous decision. Only because I think Anthony Taylor is a gatekeeper in the Misfits fights. And he's beating people like Ryan Taylor, who gave Slim a fight for his life, basically. Yeah, Anthony Taylor beat him, right? But he lost to 3 specific people that we're going to talk about. And that being Tommy Fury, Idris Virgo, and Chris Avila. He lost to all of these people, either split decision or unanimous decision. You see a pattern? He's only lost, and sometimes badly, to professional boxers. Even though Chris Avila is technically an MMA fighter, at this point I think it's good to say that he counts as a professional fighter at this point. Where he lost to Chris Avila, and Chris was 0-1, and he lost via decision. And then he fought, I think next he fought Tommy Fury, but I think it was either 5-0 or 4-0, depending on, I don't know what it was. But he also lost via decision. And then he lost to Idris Virgo after getting dropped via unanimous decision. So that being said, Anthony Taylor has only lost to legitimate professional boxers. Bad thing is, he's lost to pillow-handed professional fighters. Because we see their records, Tommy Fury's 9 wins and I think 4 knockouts. So it's like a less than 50% knockout ratio. Idris Virgo, which I don't even know his knockout ratio, but I think it's also very small because I checked it, right? And Chris Avila, if his fight with Paul Obama counted on his professional record, would be 3-1 with 0 knockouts. Once again, another pillow-handed fighter. Although Chris Avila has power, he's not a good finisher if you ask me. But that doesn't matter. And of course, he's fighting Salt Poppy, who is off of a career high win against Josh Bjorkner, which people overhype. Let's be real, Josh Bjorkner was not really that good of a fighter. Like, his last fight was against Chase Demur, who first of all got DQ'd and got banned from boxing, basically, because they said, oh, he's banned for 2 years. That's basically over. His career is over. No one's waiting. Misfits is probably not surviving for 2 years, let's be real. And then he fought Salt Poppy, and I already made a video, not specifically on this one, but talking about the fight, where I thought it was dumb. Josh Bjorkner looked like he didn't know what he was doing in there, and then, of course, he got knocked down and basically stopped. But he never really came in there with like threatening at all. He came in there doing pad work on Salt Poppy's gloves and expected that to do something. Like, no, it doesn't. All right, let's be real. So, Salt Poppy unanimous decision. And also, this will be the first time where we will see if Salt Poppy is a pillow-handed fighter or he has actual power. Because remember, Anthony Taylor has only been beaten by professional boxers who are pillow-handed. It's not like he has a good chin. He could have a good chin. It's just that after a certain amount of fights, we saw that the professional fighters don't carry a lot of power, if you ask me. Well, anyways, co-main event, Deji versus Swarms. The battle of comeback fighters, basically. Because Deji lost 3 fights in a row, and then won 1 fight against Fuzi, which, I mean, it was cool. It was cool watching him win. It just, against Fuzi, bro, at this point, you gotta calm down. You know, it was against Fuzi. It was also like, I think, 0-3. But anyway, Swarms is also, although not as bad of a record, he's 1-1. lost to KSI, and then won against Ryan Taylor by, I don't know, breaking his eye. I don't even know what happened. But anyways, they are fighting. Deji has a 1 knockout ratio, lost to Jake Paul, Alex Wasabi, and Vinny Hacker. Not very good of a record, especially Vinny Hacker. That just, like, oh, come on. We never seen this guy in the ring again. At least Alex Wasabi still kind of fights, so we see, oh, yeah, he's still decent. But Vinny Hacker just TKO'd him and left. But anyways, how do I think it's going to win? You know, if I were to put my money on someone, it would be Deji because of, I guess, the power. But then Swarms also has power. And the thing is, Deji gets hit too many times. He got countered by Fuzi. It's just, difference is Fuzi was scared for his life because, well, you know, who wouldn't? Right? And he got stopped. But Swarms, obviously, after his career high win against Ryan Taylor, his confidence is booming right now, right? He thinks he's the man and all that stuff, right? So he's definitely going to go in there with confidence, and he's definitely going to be countering Deji. I think it's going to go decision. I don't think Deji knocks out Swarms. He could. He's not as good as his brother. Let's be real. And also because Swarms was not twirling around the ring like he did against, well, his brother. So, you know, just saying. It's a 50-50 fight, but Deji's most likely probably going to win, especially if he goes to decision, because they're not gonna take it easy on Swarms on the decision. They're most likely gonna give it to Deji. But anyways, that's 2 fights. Also, before we actually get to the main event, it's really weird. Happy Punch is actually doing prelims now. That's really weird, with the main event of the prelims being Boogie versus another fat guy, which is a very interesting fight. And I think this will be the first ever event where the fight doesn't happen because both got tired during the ring walk. But whatever, right? Happy Punch doing prelims. No one really interesting on there, for me at least. Anyways, KSI versus Joe Fournier main event. Let's get it. He's fighting his first professional boxer after 5 fights, I think, because he beat Joe Weller, I think his name was. And then he fought Logan Paul twice, only won once, because the other one was a draw. Then he beat Swarms and Pineda, who, let's not count those as wins, let's be real. And then beat Face Temper, and then now he's fighting Joe Fournier. So anyway, let's talk about Joe Fournier first, because obviously we already talked about KSI a little bit. But he's a 9-0 professional boxer with 9 knockouts, 100% knockout ratio, and used to hold the WBA International Light Heavyweight Championship of the World. Now, is this a good fight for him? No, it's not. Let's be real. Joe Fournier is not better than Tommy Fury. But if KSI does beat Joe, then he would technically be good enough to fight Jake Paul. It would be a competitive match, kind of, just not as competitive as most people will think. Cause look at this dude's fight record. This dude regressed after, I don't know, his first 4 fights, because he fought a 2-24 boxer as his debut. Good enough, whatever. And then he fought his best win, a 14-8 boxer. Very nice. And then he fought 11-41 boxer, which was a no contest, so that doesn't count, obviously. And it was 0-5, 1-11, 0-13, and 1-11, and a person that had made his debut. Yeah, this dude's not really the best. Like, you kind of get to see why he has a 100% knockout ratio, because it's basically Tommy Fury if he never stopped fighting his first 4 opponents, basically. And he held the WBA championship, the international one, not even the interim one, the international one, which is which first of all I'm gonna say I don't even know how that happened. No, it seems he failed a drug test too. That's very interesting. So how do they think he's gonna win? Oh, I truly believe there's another 50-50 matchup. Although Joe Fournier is old and he kind of sucks, he's too stiff and everything. Even though he held a championship, that doesn't really mean anything when you look at his record. But it just, KSI hasn't done anything to really prove that this is a good step up, you know, a logical step up. Because he beat Logan Paul, which is his career high win, which is absolutely abysmal now because Logan Paul doesn't fight anymore and is now a WWE superstar. He beat Swarms and Pineda, who look like people who they just kidnapped off the street and said to fight. These dudes were scared for their life and everything. Those wins don't count. And then he was supposed to fight an MMA fighter, although a Bellator MMA fighter regardless, in Dylan Dennis. And that would have 100% put him up in the same level to fight Joe Fournier. Except Dylan Dennis pulled out for whatever reason, and Face Temper stepped in. Which at this point, I don't want to say anything mean to Face Temper, because I did choose him to win. But that was more out of I hate KSI and I want to see him get knocked out than actual logical bet. I just think he might have a glass chin now. His record in boxing has never been the best. He knocked out someone who never fought before. He lost against King Kenny, although people say he won. Whatever. I don't know if it was overturned or not. I don't care. And then he got knocked out by Slim, who is a very, very much skinnier boxer than KSI. So him knocking out Faye Sandberg is not really a big, win, especially since he's fighting Slim's, like they say, sloppy seconds. So my only concern is that I think KSI jumped the shark a little bit. Could he win? He 100% could win. His power can 100% bring him to victory. It's just, is it enough? Because like I said, Joe Fournier is old, but he also has decent enough power, Because although he did fight a bunch of trash cans, it's really hard to knock out all trash cans. Let's be real. Especially depending on the trash cans he fights. But I do think KSI wins via knockout later in the fight. But Joe Fournier will put up a hell of a fight because I think KSI just kind of jumped a little too early, and he will definitely look like a worse fighter than he did before. But if he does knock him out in spectacular fashion, at this point we kind of have to say, yeah, he's a good enough boxer now, because although his past opponents weren't really the best, if he beats this one in spectacular fashion, you gotta give him his flowers. Very nice. But anyways, that is the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Of course, the next video will of course be the May 20th bout between undisputed lightweight champion Devin the Dream Haney versus the former unified lightweight champion Lomachenko. Very nice. Also known as the Matrix. But anyways, hope you enjoy the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.
So this is what losing feels like.